Hi guys. Today, as you can see, I'm in a different setting. I am at my hair salon. So, welcome to today's video. Today we're going to be talking about my story and how I opened a salon at just 20 years old. And I'm 21 right now, so I haven't even had this place for a year. But I feel like I'm finally in a place where I can talk about my experience, talk about how I got to be where I'm at, and just share with you guys the little bit of knowledge that I have as being a business owner. So I was in cosmetology school, never worked at a salon. I decided that I was gonna open my own salon. Okay, so I went through it. Nobody in my family is a business owner. So I was like really in the dark with this. I did all this pretty much on my own. Obviously I had the support from my family. It took my parents a little while to come around to the fact that I wasn't gonna get a college degree and that didn't define me being successful. And although I was going against what they wanted for me and what they thought was the best for me, I was doing what was gonna make me happy, because in the end of the day, I was the one who was gonna be going to work and doing that, you know, whatever it was, and I wanted to be happy and I wanted to love my job. So although it made my parents a little upset in the beginning, now they see where my headspace was and they see that this really makes me happy, and they've seen how far that I've come and how much I wanted this and how hard I worked for it. So if you're in the same boat and your parents want you to do something but you don't want to do it and it doesn't make you happy, just talk to them, sit down with them, be honest with them and say, I don't like this, it's making me miserable, I hate it, and I want to do what I want to do. And your parents love you so much, and if you tell them that, they will support you. And as hard as it is to talk about those kind of things with your parents, just be honest, and at the end of the day, remind yourself it's you going to work, not your mom and dad. So all right, so all meanwhile, when I was in college and then when I started cosmetology school, I was working from home as a lash tech. So from the time that the idea that I wanted to open a salon popped in my head to the time where I found my rental space was a span of from January 2019 to June 2019. So that's how long I spent planning. And of course the like big picture idea was in my head before then, but in January 2019, I was like, this is gonna happen and I'm gonna start planning it. It was no longer like a dream, like I want to eventually. It was like, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna start planning it right now. That was my headspace. So to begin my journey, what I did is I got on the internet and I was like, how to open a salon. I literally Googled it. And from doing that, I stumbled across Jamie Dana, and she's a really big educator in the hair industry. A lot of hairstylists know about Jamie Dana. I love Jamie Dana. She's freaking amazing, and I like would hope to meet her one day. But if you know anything about her, she owns her own hair salon. She's from California, so like across the country. So obviously things vary from state to state, but I watched her video on how she opened a hair salon, and it really opened my eyes. It helped me a ton, and that's what I recommend you guys. So you just get on the internet and just start searching things. Just like expand your knowledge on how to run a business, not even just a salon, a business, because you know, as fun as it is opening a salon and doing all the decorating, there is the business side to it, and it's really, really hard. So while I was like, you know, watching Jamie Dana's videos, I was on Google, I went to delaware.gov. So I'm from Delaware. So that's mostly what this video is going to pertain to, is the regulations in Delaware. So I went to delaware.gov and I just typed in hair salon. So there I found all the like requirements pretty much that they set in place for hair salons that I had to abide by. I found all the licensing that I need. So let me just name you guys a few of the licenses that you need. So you're gonna need your city or town, just your general business license to practice in that town. Then you're gonna need a division of revenue business license. So mine's through the state of Delaware. So it's the Delaware Division of Revenue business license. And basically that license allows you to get paid, pay your employees. And then within your state, it all depends, but in Delaware, they require you to have a shop or salon business license through the state of Delaware. And that just makes you official pretty much that you're a hair salon. And if you want to hire employees, I think you need this either way. It's your FEIN number, and that's through the IRS, and that's how they track your income and your taxes. And if you want to pay people, you need that. And then once you've got all that, you're going to go to sam.gov. It's a really sketchy website, but I promise you it's a government official website. So this is also something that you need. It's your DUNS number. I honestly don't know a lot about it, but I just know you need it if you want to, especially during a time like coronavirus, and if you want to apply for any kind of grants or loans and business loans, you need your DUNS number. And then you're also going to want to apply for to be an official employer in the state of Delaware. So you're going to do that at the Division of Labor site for your state. And then before any of that, I forgot to mention this, you're going to want to register your entity type. So what that means is, are you going to be a sole proprietor? Are you going to be LLC? Are you going to be a partner with somebody? Are you going to be all those things? So for me and my business, I chose to be LLC. So we are Peachykeensalon Beauty Bar LLC. And what that means or stands for is Limited Liability Corporation. So that just basically means that me, Sophie Martinez, and Peachykeen are two different entities. I myself, as an individual, I'm technically just an employee for this business, although I also am the owner of this business. And then just to like compare it so you guys can get a better understanding, a sole proprietorship would be, say if you, I guess, didn't have any employees, or I don't know, you are your business. So say when I was working from home, I was Sophie Eilean Beauty. I am my business. I am a sole proprietor. That's who Another reason I chose to be LLC was because, like I said, you and your business are two different people. Your assets are not the same. So my car is not Peachykeen's car. That's Sophie Martinez's car. But if you're a sole proprietor, that's your business's car. So say somebody sues you, they could take your car if you're a sole proprietor. But if you're LLC, they can't take your car, they can't take your personal assets, but they can take your business assets. So that's why I did that. And then also like being sole proprietor, like all the money is just, I guess you could do it different ways. I don't really know. But like the business money is also your money. But for me, the business money is the business money. And then I pay myself, like an employee. So it's just so confusing, and that stuff is just things that I figured out along the way, trial and error. And yeah, and that's why I'm here making this video for you guys, because honestly it was really hard and there's no step-by-step on how to open a business anywhere on the internet. Like it was so hard, and it took so many different steps to be like, oh my god, now I have to do that. Oh, I got that breather. Oh, now I have to get this. So I'm just here to make it easier on you guys. Okay, so back to like planning and thinking about opening a salon. So like I said, I started planning this in January. And at the time, I was in a really bad headspace. Like being in school and being around the toxic environment there. And then I was in a really toxic relationship. And it just felt like everyone around me wasn't rooting for me. It felt like I couldn't talk about what I wanted to do. I was always like shunned for it. It's like, why don't you just work from home? Why are you even doing that? And I was like, because this is what's gonna make me happy. So this book right here, this little notebook, is what started Peachykeen. And I will keep this thing probably until the day I die. So what I did is I went to this, probably from Marshall's or Walmart, who knows where, and I bought a notebook. It's just a blank notebook. It's got so much info in it. So what I did to start planning my salon is I immediately was like, how big do I want this to be? And I immediately wrote down how many employees I wanted. I wrote down the job titles that I wanted. So I wanted X amount of hairstylists. X amount of lash techs, X amount of assistants, things like that. Really the first page of this notebook. And that's just the way I did it. When you're thinking about hiring employees, especially for a salon, you have to think about how many chairs you're gonna have, how many full-time stylists you're gonna have, how many part-time stylists you're gonna have. Are they gonna do booth rent? Are they gonna do commission? So in my personal experience, I guess, like I said, I've never worked in a salon. So everything that I learned about commission and booth rent was through school and the internet. So I decided that I wanted to have a commission salon. So my stylists make a certain percent of the service that they do, and then they also make tips, and they make a percentage on the retail that they sell. So the reason I chose commission was because I wanted to be a camera professional salon. I wanted to be able to control or manage the products that my stylists were using. I wanted to make sure that they were using the best of the best, because at the end of the day, it is the Peachy Key name. So in booth rental salons, pretty much it's like the salon, but it's honestly just like a building. That's all the salon is, just a building. And then the stylists are their own businesses, and they use their own products, and they use their own hair color lines, and they could all, each one be different. I really wanted full control with that. So I decided to do a commission-based salon. When you're also thinking about opening a salon, and if you've already got your at-home business, you want to think about what kind of POS system you want to use. So I use Square for everything, and they really help a lot, especially with small businesses. So they have the regular POS system, they have payroll, they have appointments reminder app, and then they have the Square Team app. They literally help with everything. Our online booking system, our online website, everything that I have on our page is from Square. It's completely free, pretty much. So they do take 2% of every transaction, 2 point something, and then you do have to pay for like your employees. Say if you have like X amount of employees, you have to pay a certain amount a month for them, like to be able to, like, I don't know, use the software and stuff. So there are like monthly subscription fees for that. But if you have like less than 5 employees, I don't think there is. I have 9, so I do have to pay monthly for that. Yeah, Square is also super user-friendly. Like, it's like dummy proof. I love it for that reason, because I hate when technology is so hard to use. Like, it's just so annoying. And then when you're also thinking about hiring people, you have to think about, are you going to offer them benefits? What is the dress code going to be like? You literally have to think of every little thing. Okay, moving to the next thing that I started to plan when I was trying to open a salon. So I was like, okay, what do I want my salon to focus on? Do I want to do like perms and relaxers and those kind of things? Do I want to focus on blonding? Do I want to offer hair extensions, lash extensions? Obviously, but I was just like, what services do I want to offer at my salon? I wrote them all down, and then I was like, okay, so what am I going to charge for these services? So then I started looking at surrounding salons, what they were charging. I was looking at what I wanted to make an hour, what I wanted my stylist to make an hour, like quote unquote an hour, like how long the service takes. And then once I thought about all the services that I wanted to offer, I was like, okay, how long does it take to complete these services? Because that's also going to determine the pricing. So I would say that I did everything pretty fair. I did everything kind of like any other salon would do it. So after I decided my employees, then what services I was going to offer, and then I looked into what brands am I going to use. So for lash extensions, it was pretty easy because I already had that down. Like, I knew what I charged, I knew what products I was using. So I'm Bella Lash certified, so I used all Bella Lash products, and I already had my pricing set, so that was set. But for hair, obviously, I was still in cosmetology school, so I was still really new at learning. I experimented with a lot of brands. We were in all Redken school, so that's really all that I used, and I used a little bit of Kenra here and there, like on my own personal time. But yeah, so these are like the subheadings that I wrote down, and then like deciding what products I was going to use. I also like thought about how much I was going to have on hand. And then this will go into your budget for how much you're gonna need to open a salon. Subheading I put was permanent color, permanent developers, demi-permanent color, fashion colors, and then the demi-permanent developers, lightener, developers for the lightener, pH monitor, so it would be like oil effects, the foils, our gloves, shampoo back bar and conditioner back bar, lash extensions, and then all the stuff that I needed for lash extensions, tools that we would need, so color bowls, applicator bottles, measuring cups, processing caps, Redken. Oh, these were just like organizing little tray things, which I didn't end up getting those. A swatch book for the brand that you're going to be using, a scale to weigh and measure your product, hair extensions, and the makeup stations. So after the products, I began to look at what do I need to fill this place up. And this was before I even had my location set. Like, this is just like, what do I need to meet the bare minimum? So I was like, how many trash cans do I need? How many retail shelves do I need? How many, the waxing station, the makeup station, hairstyling stations, retail products, t-shirts, brushes, and then business cards, little flyers with our menus on them, advertisement, where I was gonna buy these products from. So I have business cards, loyalty cards, aftercare cards, appointment cards, service menu flyers, and gift certificate cards, like where I was gonna get all that. Hi guys, so I'm coming on here like after the fact, filming this video because my phone, like I talked about at the end of this video, just kept cutting out and like deleting a bunch of stuff. So I wanted to talk about like product and how I budgeted money for that. So once I became affiliated with Kenra, so I got up with a Kenra executive and she made me a Kenra professional salon. So once we did that, she sent over salon intros for me to purchase for the salon. So that included a bunch of free goodies. These kits were expensive, but you did get a lot of free stuff that also came with them. So it was really worth the money rather than going and buying things separately from like Cosmoprof and Salon Centric. So yeah, I did want to include that because when I was planning to open the salon, like I didn't know that information. I didn't even add it in after the fact. But yeah, so I purchased those salon intros. So I got a color intro, retail intros, lightener intros. So basically what that means is just a bunch of products and they group them for you. So you can just buy it and that's like the stock that you need to start a salon and open. And honestly, I still have not ran out of this stuff. Of course, I've repurchased products here and there and I purchased things that weren't in the intros, and obviously our retail sells, so we have to repurchase that. But honestly, I really recommend doing that, and I really recommend finding a brand and becoming a or like a affiliated salon with that brand, because they really do take care of you, and Kenra really does take care of its salon. Okay, so a part of like trying to figure out the budget of what you need to meet the bare minimum, kind of, you know, chairs, where are you gonna get your chairs from, where are you gonna get those mats from, where are you gonna get the mirrors from, what do you even want your salon to look like, because that's gonna depend on how much these things are costing you. Shampoo bowls, how many shampoo bowls are you gonna have, just like every single thing, like you have to think of, you have to budget that and see exactly how much money that you're gonna need, because then you're gonna have to ask for a loan. So I also wanted to add a little bit about the loan. So the loan, I ended up totaling how much I needed for everything. You know, that was products, furniture, and then a little bit of construction, like paint and flooring and things like that. So I ended up coming up with the number $35,000, and that was for a 1,400 square foot space. I also didn't mention that in the video. But yeah, so, and then I asked for the loan and it was literally in my account within like days. So yeah. Okay, so when I was, you know, planning this out and going through all those months of hardship and fighting, you know, everyone around me and saying, I am going to do this, I am going to open the salon, like just watch me, I cut toxic people out of my life. All of that planning was before I even started looking for my location. So this was the hardest part. was looking, where in the world is my salon gonna be? I was used to working from home, and honestly I was like, I don't want to go very far from my house. Like, I want this to be kind of close. So I started looking in my town, I started looking in the surrounding towns around me, and where I was looking was loopnet.com. So that's like a site, or it's also an app where you can look up commercial rentals. So this would be like places where you can have a business. So this is going to be like in the shopping mall. After like all the surrounding areas around me said no, or that there just wasn't any available, I was like, I'm just going to apply to them all in my county, every single one. I kid you not, they all told me no, because I was 19, because they already had something in that category in their area, in their like little mall. Like, they already had a nail salon, they already had a hair salon, they already had a great clips, the cost cutters. They already had those things, or I was too young and didn't have enough credit, or whatever, what have you. I don't know, or they just didn't take me seriously. So that was pretty discouraging. And like I said, that toxic person, which I hate to bring that person up, but it's like, it's part of this story. So he worked around this area where the salon is, and this salon was never on any of those sites, or that site. And that's why I never found it or heard of it. And he was just driving by and saw the for sale, or not for sale, for a lease sign. And he like came over here and he was like, hey, like, would you guys have a salon here? And I was at school at the time. And they were like, yeah, we don't care. Get go, my landlords, they're pretty awesome. And if you're watching this, hi. Thank you guys for being so great. Honestly, I would not have had it any other way. I got in contact with the realtor, and I came and saw it, I think like the next week. And this was in probably May of 2019. I came to see it. So from January to May, I was planning. I was seeing how much it was going to cost me. I was literally totaling up like how much a little color bottle costs, and like how many I was going to have on hand, and what shades I was going to have on hand, and literally everything you can think of. That's what I was doing. And I'm sorry I'm like not being super specific, but it's just way too much to like a whole salon. Okay, like just think about everything you're gonna need for a salon. Up with like a number, but that number didn't include construction costs to make the space how you want it to look, basically. So when I found this place, I came in and I looked at it, and I came in with an open mind, because trust me, this space did not look like this before I came here at all. Like at all. So when I walked in, it's a joint building, so my landlords are literally on the other side, and like you come in through the same door, and then that's their door, and then this is my door. So I come in through the front door, and I'm like, oh, I wonder what it's gonna look like. And I walk in, and it looked like so it was an old chiropractor's office, and there was like that ugly wood paneling everywhere. It had blue 80s carpeting, and I don't know if you guys can see, but let me just point this up. But like that pink strip right there, so that pink strip, there was a wall in the middle of this area, so you wouldn't have been able to see any of that. There was a wall, and it was like a little window, like when you go to the dentist and like you have a sign in. That's what it looked like in here. And like this front area, it was like a little waiting room, and it was really dark, and like that area back there where that window is, like that was a room. Like this was like a whole hall. They were really awesome. They really worked with me, and I like expressed those concerns to my landlord, and he was like, whatever you need, we'll take care of it. We want you to succeed, and we want you to be able to pay your rent every month, and we want you to be able to like the spaces that you're in. So pretty much I was like, cool, they're like very lenient, they're like willing to work with me even though I'm so young. And they asked me tons and tons of questions. They were like, you know, do you know what you're doing? Are you successful? And you know, I had to fill out all kinds of credit applications and things like that. So they were like, we don't care what you do as long as you pay rent every month. I was like, I got you, I can do that. So that's also something that you need to think about, is what can you afford a month and what do you need to make a month in order to stay afloat. So you have to think about your own personal bills, and then you have to think about the bills from your salon. So you have rent, you have your utilities, you have, you know, the subscriptions, you have, you know, here I have to pay propane, like things like that. So you want to really budget and see how much money your bills are a month, and so you need to make that plus more money to make profit, right? Okay, so like I said, when you're looking at a space, you want to see what you can afford pretty much a month and what you need to make a month at least to make a profit and pay all your bills, because the last thing you want to do is sign a lease and not be able to pay your bills. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do it. Like, I'm going to go ahead and apply for this lease and just like cross my fingers and hope for the best, because I was applying for this lease all on my own. I didn't get a cosign, and I was 20 at the time. Yeah, I was 20, not 19. So I was 20 at the time. And I was like, you know, it's gonna be tough, but like, we'll see. Like, I'm just gonna cross my fingers and hope for the best. So I applied for the lease, and I was so nervous. And the other thing is, I never told anyone but like 2 friends and my family, like my immediate family that I live with, that I was doing this. I didn't talk about it at all. I didn't tell any of my clients. I literally kept it a secret, because when you're doing things like this, it's all about like the universe and like manifestations, and I'm like really into that. And I feel like if you tell people about it and you get too excited too quick, it ends up not working out 9 times out of 10, I think. Because I've definitely had things where I'm like, oh my god, like this is gonna happen. I've told so many people and then it doesn't end up happening, and it's like, then you also have to explain to those people why it didn't happen. So with this, but anyway, so like while I was waiting to like find out if I got approved or not, like I was really not getting my hopes up. I was like, you know, if I don't get this, like it's okay, like I'll be okay, I'll find something else. My like life motto is expect nothing from anybody, and you'll never get your feelings hurt, and you'll always be happy. Because when you start to bring your expectations up here and then your expectations fall here, you get upset. But if you didn't have any expectations to begin with, you're happy. So then I found out that I got approved for my lease. So I signed a 3-year lease, and that was in June, like maybe the 2nd week of June, and I was so over the moon excited. Opened the salon by August, so mind you, that was like a month and a half to get this place the way it looks. And I did it while being a full-time student, mind you. But I didn't do it alone. I had a lot of help. So when I found out that I got approved for the lease, I spoke with my landlord and I told him about all the construction that I wanted to do. And he was like, you know what, like they own a roofing company. So he was like, you know, I'll do the construction for you. Don't worry about it, which is awesome, because a lot of other places, they charge you construction. So that's something that you have to think about and include in your pricing. And I had also applied for my loan when I found out I got approved for the lease. So I applied for a $35,000 loan. Yeah, so I did have money saved, but obviously not enough to fully furnish and stack up a whole entire salon. And I was 20, so I didn't have that kind of money. That got me everything that you're seeing here in the salon, the flooring, because it was blue carpeting, so I bought flooring for like $4,000. And one of my best friends and her boyfriend, they literally single-handedly helped me do this flooring. Without them, this flooring would not be done. And like I said, my landlord did the construction. He knocked the walls out, he put drywall up. Me and Kevin stayed up here till like 3 a.m. like for like weeks, painting every night. And it was fun. Like I wouldn't take any of it back, and I had a lot of fun memories just creating this space. Like I'll never forget when Jasenki, which was my friend, her boyfriend, she took a hammer to my phone and cracked it, and it was just so funny, and like I didn't care. And like things I'll never forget, and like spending all that time here with them and just seeing who's really there for you in your corner. That's what I got from this whole experience. So like I said, so from the middle of June to August 1st, I spent every day here, putting furniture together, doing the flooring, painting. Zach, which was who helped do the floor, he did the trim. we just spent every day here getting this place ready and like figuring out what areas were gonna be what and that sort of thing. And like I said, I got the loan. I just started ordering things online. Things were always coming in. We were always putting things together, and somehow we did it. Can I tell you that was the most exhausting time of my life? Yes, I would literally get 2 hours of sleep a night, like weeks on end, 2 hours of sleep. It was tough. It was really tough, but I still went to school. I still came to the salon after school. I like didn't work for a month pretty much, just because I was here every day trying to get this ready, and I wouldn't trade it for the world. It was really, really hard, and I know a lot of people were like, you're crazy, and I was like, call me crazy, but I love what I'm doing, you know? So I finally posted about the salon maybe like towards the end of July. I just posted like a little corner, and it was like just a chair and like the flooring and the wall, and I was like, you know, sneak peek, like guess what's happening, and everybody guessed it. They were like, oh my god, you opened a salon. I was like, yes. Pretty much. And the support that I got from everybody was crazy. And like I said, with all of this, you have to be super business savvy. Like you have to know the ins and outs of running a business, because the last thing you want to do is get tied up in finances and not be able to pay your bills, and you know, not have the certain licensings that you need. So yeah, that's kind of what I went over in the beginning of the videos, all the licenses you need and that sort of thing. And yeah, hi, I'm back for another after video edit on something else I forgot. But I also wanted to mention that those licenses are not free. I spent hundreds of dollars on those licenses, but they are essential. You need them and you can't get around that. And I also forgot to mention that insurance, you need insurance on your business in case something happens, robbery, fire, disaster, things like that. And you need workers' comp insurance. I got mine through State Farm. So another thing I did once I got like my location set and I was like, okay, like this is going to be the place, I decided to register my business on Google, Yelp, and apply to be on Apple Maps. Along with like getting on the internet and having that discoverability is being on all social medias. Like you must be social media savvy, especially during this time. Like social media is everything right now. So, you know, you have to be on Instagram, you have to be active, you have to have an aesthetic, and this just goes into like business tips, pretty much. And I can do like a whole business tip series for you guys if you want. But yeah, like you have to be active on all social medias. You have to have Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. I don't even know what else I have. But you have to also be active, and you have to have, you know, awesome marketing, and like you have to be active on the IGTV and your stories, and you just really have to attract clientele. Something else that you kind of have to be mentally prepared for, even though it's like you can't really prepare for these types of things. When you own a business, you have to be prepared for tough times, and you have to be able to be strong enough to overcome that. Because if you know, let these things get to you, it's going to be hard. Because from the time I opened the salon, you know, although we look successful, and we are, and life is good, and I love this place, I'm not going to sit here and say that it was 100% easy and I didn't have any obstacles and it was all smooth sailing, because that would be a lie. It was hard. It was really hard, and I've cried, you know, so many times, and I've sat here and I've been like, why did I do this to myself? Somebody was walking outside. Why did I do this to myself? Why did I put myself in this position to take on so much responsibility at such a young age? And you know, I can sit here and I can have these thoughts, but then when I look at what I could have done, oh my god, I would have never wanted to do that. I would have never wanted to go to a college. I would never want to go to a university or be a nurse, or, you know, do all those other things. Like, this is what I want to do. So when things happen, instead of saying why me, say, okay, I will take this for what it is and we're gonna grow from it. I've had so many things happen over the past few months, and it's like, it just keeps feeling like a hit after hit after hit. Like, you just can't bounce back, Okay, so I don't even honestly know what's happening. I hate my phone so much. I only have 64 gigs of storage, which is the lowest amount. When I went to Verizon, I told the guy, I'm a business owner and I need storage. So this is what I mean, like hit after hit after hit. Like I just like, I can't even deal with this phone because I can't even run a business because I don't have enough storage, which is such a first world problem. But like, I live in a first world world, so like, like I don't want to buy a new phone. Okay, but like I said, that was kind of my story, from start to finish, like thinking about owning a salon to actually making it happen and saying I'm gonna do this no matter what anybody says. I hope this video kind of helped you guys. It was more of me sharing my story and like kind of what I did and what I went through to get here. And if I missed or left things out, I'm sorry. My phone keeps cutting off because I don't have enough storage. But yeah, I'm just gonna end it here because I don't even know what I talked about, what I didn't talk about, because I keep having to take breaks and delete everything on my phone. But thank you guys so much for tuning into today's video. I just checked my list and I hit everything that I wanted to talk about in this video. So yeah, definitely stay tuned for the next video. Let me know what you guys want to see next, and thank you guys so much for watching, and hopefully I'll do a salon tour sometime soon. Bye.